Welcome back to Fred in the Shed. Now, if you missed it on a previous video, I bought from eBay a 1977 Brooklands Roadster steam car. It needed some work. The bodywork has some rust on it. The boiler has a leak on it. So in this video, I am going to attempt to fully restore it. Now, we'll be doing this in a series of pictures, but there is some video clips in those pictures, so if you're going to skip ahead, just sort of be aware of that, or you will miss that. But anyway, let's get straight into this. I hope you enjoy, and cheers. Thanks for watching. Right, so here we are. We've got to the stage where we've released the boiler from the housing, and just got to try and unsolder that pipe, that dodgy pipe there. That's obviously someone's had a go at that before, and that's causing a leak, a steam pressure leak. So I've just got to have a go at trying to unsolder the pipe to get the boiler out of the housing, and then resolder it better than the last guy had a go at. I've never done silver soldering before. It seems pretty basic, but yeah, it's all going to be a little bit new to me. So I've got to get my little mini blowtorch out and yeah, give it a go. Well, that was a bit easier than I thought it was going to be. A little bit of heat on there, and yeah, it came away straight away. So here we go. That's the sort of control valve, backwards and forwards, and the steam valve. And of course my neighbour now chooses to cut the grass when I'm doing a video, but that's as it is. But yeah, that came out quite easy. How it'll go back, well, not sure. Here's the rest of the body. It all just breaks down into sort of single components. I still can't quite get that that pulley out there between the chassis rails. It's just a very fine little Allen key. I just haven't got the right Allen key. I've got Imperial and metric, but just can't seem to find one to fit that. So I'm going to do a little bit of investigation onto that and get the proper size. But so that's everything sort of stripped down. So there's a little bit of rust on some of the running boards here, which I need to address. Get some red oxide primer on that, and yeah, clean it all up and start. Just drilled the rivets out of the boiler, and I thought it might be double walled, but it's not. Unfortunately, they go straight into the boiler. So I've now got some rivet heads in there, and I had some sort of rattling before, so I wonder if someone's been here before me and maybe replaced the boiler, or possibly had taken it out to have a go at the solder. There goes the lawnmower again. So don't know how I'm going to get those rivet heads out unless I can get them out of the water fill spout hole there. So never done silver soldering before, and after this I probably won't ever want to do it again. So I've got my cheap Chinese solder and cheap Chinese flux. What could possibly go wrong? I'm not going to be able to video it as I do it. I'm not really set up to do it, plus it's going to put me off too much. So anyway, wish old Fred luck, because he's going to have a go like he always does. We got smoke. Using a T-tail wasn't such a good idea to support the boiler, and I used way too much flux. But I'm going to let that cool down. It's probably done my paint in the world of good. I've touched that in, but seems to have dabbed on quite a bit of solder. I probably used way too much solder, but I don't know, it might be alright. It looks like it's a pretty substantial joint. It's not the neatest thing in the world, but then Fred in the shed never is. That's what Fred is. But yeah, other than catching the T-tail on fire, what a dumbass. But yeah, we're going to let that cool down and then have a look. As long as it makes a seal and it doesn't leak. Oh dear, smoke signals. Fred in the shed, you can't beat it. Anyway, let's see, let's let it cool down. Won't be using that one again. Well, it's a heavy solder joint, isn't it? Certainly got some on there. But the camera will focus. It doesn't look too bad. Not for a first attempt anyway. I decided just to go at it again. I don't like doing things twice, but just missed I could just see a little bit that I missed. So I just sort of dabbed a little bit more on and made it look even worse. It's not a good looking job, but as long as it seals and it doesn't leak, that's the main thing. But yeah, perhaps it's a little bit how you're doing, but there you go. All the axles, including the spare wheel, use a kind of little clip. It's like a little hat shaped clip. It's a once only job. It goes on and then you break it when you're trying to sort of take it off. So what I'm doing is I'm just cutting a thread on all of the axles just to so I can put a little nut on there, so I can just sort of put a nut on a washer to just secure the wheels, which is probably actually been done from the factory really. I think it was just done for speed and cost and everything else. But yeah, it comes in handy, the old tapping set there. So yeah, a little bit of thread on the axle. There you go, I've just got one left. This is the little sort of press, what I call a sort of a hat kind of clip that's on the axle there. But so you end up breaking these when they come off. They're literally sort of a use once only. So that's why I decided to do the threads. Well, the reconstruction has not got off to a very good start because I was so concerned about getting these pipes straight, getting the little brass rivets in the boiler, that I forgot to put the shroud in. It's a bit of a disaster. So I've blooming well done the rivets up, and now I've got the shroud that I can't get into the sort of frame. So I'm going to have to re-drill the rivets out. And I've only got, they give me one spare one, but I'm going to have to order some more rivets. So it's a bit frustrating. Yeah, on the instructions, when I was following the instructions, that was already done for me. Bit of a cock up, my own fault. And yeah, well, no point in crying over spilt milk. I've got to go back to the beginning. So drilled the rivets out, and I've now got more rivets in the boiler. It makes a nice noise. I am so disappointed with myself for making that mistake. Yeah, I've got bloody gasket seal that I used all over the place now. Yeah, really disappointed with myself, but you know, it happens. So going to be more delays for me now while ordering some new rivets. For you guys, well, it's not going to be any different, no delay at all. But yeah, work has to stop today. What a shame, but there you go, my own stupidity. Right, I'm back. It's been a few days. So we got some new rivets in. Got quite a few this time, so if I cock it up, they shouldn't really be a problem. So they are special. They're sort of, I suppose they're copper. And they're blind-headed, so that when you put them in the boiler, they're not open, so that won't allow the steam to pass through. So we've got quite a few. So this time we're going to have another go. I remember to put the shroud in, not before I kind of put the back plate on there. So yeah, but I've been busy, been doing other things, managed to get the wheels sort of quite nicely finished. I'm quite pleased how they've come out sort of really nice. But anyway, alright, gonna crack it on and hopefully we'll not mess it up. Well, famous last words. You see, this time I've found the diagram, which is what I should have used last time. So, because I've had to re-drill this, and I think that's been drilled before, someone else has been there before me, so I have a feeling that these holes are getting a little bit elongated in the boiler. I'm going to use a little bit of high temperature silicone just to put on the end of the rivets there, and a little tiny bit, you can't really see, but I've just put it around. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. Probably people that work with these sort of, steam models would probably tell me no, that's probably a mistake, but I feel that it might just give it a sort of a chance if those holes have just become a little bit elongated. The last thing I want is for this sort of copper pipe to seal and then the copper sort of rivets not to, if you know what I mean. So that's what I'm going to do anyway. So yeah, get the boiler plate or the body plate there this time, and pop rivet it together. It's a bit of a mouthful. And then I think I'll have to fire it up and pressure test it, and hopefully we just get steam coming out of the pipe here and nowhere else. That's what I think we're going to have to do. So going to crack on with that. Famous last words. Oh, disaster. Pulling this around, I've broken the seal, the pipe seal here. I've busted it. Oh, bugger. I just think it's probably what happened last time when the last guy did it. You end up having to pull this pipe around to sort of get this to line up. Anyway, I've cracked and broken the solder. So I'm gonna have to resolder it, which is another step back, but alright, at least I didn't pot rivet it, and at least I've noticed it before everything was going back together. But yeah, I'm gonna have to take this all apart and resolder that. Obviously I've been a bit too heavy-handed. It's a bit of a challenge this, isn't it? Alright, going to sort of crack on and see how far we get today. Right, just sort of clearing all this up with a little bit of wire worn. I think I can sort of see why I'm having so much difficulty with this. If I zoom in a little bit, the hole has been sort of made into an oval. I think at some point, this wasn't me, but this pipe has been sort of bent with some force, and it's just sort of distorted, if you like. Can you see that? It's just distorted it. It's kind of bent. I don't know if it's worth me trying to maybe just bend that back slightly or just go with what I've got. Not really sure, but that's why it's making that so difficult, I think, and that's why it's such a weak joint. So when the pipe goes in, there's quite a lot of play. It's definitely been sort of bent over this way, which is a little bit odd. I think the person that did it before, which left the rivets in the boiler before, obviously had a little bit of trouble with it and got a little bit aggressive. Maybe they tried to remove the shroud before they unsoldered it. I don't know. Something went a bit wrong there. But anyway, that's what it is, isn't it? That's what I've got to deal with. So we're going to get on and resolder it. So at least I'm getting some great silver solder practice. I've never done this before, so there's nothing like learning on the job, is there? Well, there you go, still smoking, and I've had another go, and so far it looks okay. Just got to be a bit careful. I think it's quite a fragile joint, so I've just got to be a bit careful. But looking at it, it's getting a bit messy now with these little drips and things, but looks like that's got it, as far as I can tell. And yeah, just going to have to let that cool down, be a little bit more careful. But I'm getting the hang of the silver soldering, but just whether the actual joint's going to hold, I think it's going to be a little bit brittle. Maybe it's just the way I'm doing it, I don't know. a bad workman blames his tools, and I'm just maybe crap. But so a good experience. I'm enjoying it anyway. You know, certainly got getting a bit more confidence with the soldering now. Right, let that cool down, have a cup of coffee, and then crack on, see if I can get this shroud on and get this boiler finally back together. First chassis rail put on with the speed controller, and I think the next thing now, before I go any further, is just to fire the boiler, just make sure that my soldering is sealed. I'm pretty sure it has. I've dumped a lot on there, probably more than I needed to, but as I had to redo that. And yeah, my riveting there on the boiler as well, into the sort of boiler plate, if you like. So yeah, I think really at this stage, if I build this up and it leaks, then I'm going to have to take it all apart. So I think it's just a question of sort of firing it up, and hopefully we just get steam out of there and nothing running out the bottom like we did originally. I'll be a very unhappy puppy if that happens. So yeah, that's going to be the next bit, firing up the boiler. We've filled the boiler up with some preheated deionised water. That's full up, so far no leaks. And then we're using this rather nice kind of, what I call this sort of almost like nitrous type gel. Ethanol. This ethanol gel, a bit like napalm. So we're going to sort of light it up and then see what happens. Hopefully we'll just get some steam coming out of the boiler pipe. And okay, this is a light, and now we wait for the steam to build up. It's like literally waiting for a kettle to boil. And there she goes. It's blowing. It's blowing out. A little bit of water coming out. But no leaks that I can see. Yep, there we go. Don't know if you can see it, a nice cloud of steam coming out now. The water seems to have boiled off, so the level's gone down. Still no leaks from my soldering on the boiler. Everything around the rivets there looks good. And there's the steam. Hard to see really, isn't it? Smells lovely. There she blows. Fantastic. It's a success. It's a success. Nice cloud of steam coming out. If it was a cold, cooler day, you would sort of really see that. It's a success. Yep, there's a little sizzle there from the safety valve. Just showing we're up to pressure. Fantastic. Got the flames out and just letting things cool down a little bit, and that was a success. Now I've just checked the run time and we're going to be getting very close to 20 minutes, which is quite a long video for people to stick with. So I'm going to bring this one to a close, and I will do a second part of the restoration when we build up the bodywork, put on the suspension, the steering, the wheels and all the rest of it, and build the roadster back up to its well, let's say it's new glory, not its former glory. But I'd like to say cheers, thank you, especially for the people that are watching the first part of this roadster. I think that was about 114 or 115. I've read too. It's not a big channel, is it? But cheers, I very much appreciate your views. Thanks for watching this bit, thanks for sticking with it. There will be a part 2, like I say, so hit that subscribe button if you've not already done so, and perhaps that bell notification, and you'll get a little notification when I put up the final part. But as for now, as always, thanks for watching Fred in the Shed 2. Stay safe, and of course I'll catch you all on the next one. Cheers now.